Good evening, everybody, and a warm welcome to the second part of the panel discussion, which is for six elements of business growth. Today, we have on our panel three esteemed coaches from our TLC series mastermind. And today, the focus of this panel discussion is going to be on how we can help entrepreneurs reach greater heights. So, warm welcome, Azhar Ali Sayed, Engineer Nimish Desai, and Ranjana Ghoshal. Good evening.
Good
Good
evening,
evening.
everyone, and thank you for inviting us today.
I'm going to start with a little bit of an introduction for each of you. So let me introduce to you the founder of Project Now, a nutritionist and a dietitian, Azhar Ali Sayed. He's ranked among the 5 best coaches in India by BPAC and US. He's an upcoming author of Eat Your Cake and Lose Your Weight. He's also an upcoming author of 8 Values for Ordinary to Extraordinary. He is currently working with a lot of people in India and abroad to help them achieve their health goals. And his mission is to impact 1 million lives and make sure that everybody gets to eat the right kind of food, get the right level of health, and feel happy. So, warm welcome to you, Azhar. Thank you for
Thank
joining
you so
today.
much. Thank you so much, Preeti, for the kind words and that introduction.
Thank you. Let me now introduce to you the next speaker for today, which is who is Ranjana Ghoshal. Now, Ranjana Ghoshal is a high performance coach. She has been helping corporate employees, senior executives, entrepreneurs, and professionals to enhance their work performance. She finds the core issue of any individual is to make an action plan and to overcome those issues. She's won a lot of awards like Woman Icon of the Year 2017. And being a coach, she's a lifelong learner and implements her learnings for the betterment of others. She has accomplished various international certification. And truly, if anybody knows, Ranjana will agree with me that she's a lifelong learner, somebody who wants to make sure that we keep on learning and keep on growing. A bubbly and a very vibrant coach, someone who spreads happiness wherever she goes. Warm welcome, Ranjana, to you as well.
Wow, thank you, Preeti. Thanks for those lovely words. Thank you so much.
All right. The third and the most important part of our discussion today would be handled by our engineer Nimish Desai. To just introduce him briefly, Nimish is a qualified civil engineer. He has more than 32 years of experience in real estate. He's a director of 3 companies working in real estate industry and founder of 2 proprietary firms, which is into coaching and consulting. He's the founder and lead business consultant at Prescient Strategist. He's currently working in a very niche area of working and mentoring with entrepreneurs who are from the real estate industry, the first of its kind. He's a certified business coach from TLC and the Amazon best-selling author for the book, The Power of Being Organized. Warm welcome to you also, Nimesh.
Thank
Thank you
you,
all
thank
three
you.
of you for joining today. All right, so I'm going to
Pleasure,
start
Preeti.
with I'm going to start with Azhar. Azhar, just to give a context to this entire FB Live, if we're looking at an entrepreneur, okay, the first thing
Mhm.
starts with their own personal health, their personal well-being, and
Absolutely.
then we move on to the different areas. So that's the reason I start with you. So if I have to ask you, okay, today that there's so much happening on the internet, people are going crazy trying to lose weight and trying to eat right, and health is somehow reached a lot of importance. So according to you, what is the best diet, and why should one opt for a nutritionist or somebody who's a consultant in this field?
I think part of the answer already lies in your question that there is so much on the internet that has not solved the problem or rather made it worse because people are now clueless and confused as to how to approach nutrition or where to even get started. So I think that's the first part of the answer that I would like to address. And there is so much on the internet that if you do not reach out to somebody who's an expert and who's qualified in that field, then how will you get the answer? Now, in addition to that, as you also mentioned that people are trying to lose weight and also get healthier. So I'm really happy that people have finally understood that it's not just about weight loss, it is about health at large. So weight loss is just one part of health. Health is way beyond weight loss. And when we talk about health and when we speak about nutrition, there are so many nutrients which one is supposed to consume. So if I talk about protein, if I talk about essential fats, if I talk about dietary fibers, how will a person understand that to what extent one is supposed to consume these nutrients in their personalized requirements? Only if they reach out to somebody who's qualified and understands that, will that person be more able to plan the entire balanced nutrition for the entire day for themselves and for their family members. So I
Yeah,
suppose if
very,
this helps you address this question.
yes, very well said. I think, Azhar, most of us who are in quarantine, sitting at home doing nothing, all we are doing is thinking of eating. And if we are not eating right, I'm pretty sure that this is going to be. And yeah, you really don't know. I think you need to seek help from an expert. So very well said. I think we all need nutritionists or dietitians who can guide us on how we can become healthy. Now, moving on, once you've kind of worked out what you need to do for your personal wellness, I think you need to look at your growth. So, Ranjana, my next question is to you. If I have to ask you, why do you think entrepreneurs get stuck with growth? Why is it that at some point there's a certain stagnancy that comes in? There's that feeling that, oh, I don't think I can really go beyond this. So, what do you think is the reason for that?
Preeti, that's a great question because there are a lot of reasons for this, but three main reasons which I see in the young entrepreneurs, because I work mostly with millennials. So what I see is that they do not have a really compelling enough vision. And for that, they do not have the right direction. They don't know which way to go. They've started something, and like all over we get to hear startups and all these business are coming up. And it's a really, like fantastic thing. You don't have to be under anybody. So they start something, getting some investments, and they start. But they do not have a proper vision. So they do not have the direction and they get stuck because they don't know where to go. Second thing, which is, I think, very, very important is the consistency. They start doing it, but they are not consistent enough on their different habits. Like I'll just tell you, the other day I was hearing a live program, and an entrepreneur said, I don't do the, like marketing or network every day, and maybe once a month. Now, in a business, most important is revenue generation. If you don't do the marketing every day, how will you get new clients and how will you actually grow in the business? So then, you get demotivated and you stop it and you get stuck and you don't know where to go. And third thing is the imposter syndrome. Now I have started, I've got the money, finance, I've started my business. Business is, like I've done all the setups, everything, but I have that fear in me, that imposter syndrome, that I'm not good enough. I'll not be able to do anything. I just started, I don't know what to do. So this imposter syndrome will keep on giving them that fear and will stop them to move forward. So that is why they get stuck. I think they should work on all these: consistency, getting enough confidence in themselves, and having a compelling enough vision to move forward really, really fast.
Very well said, Ranjana. I think, yeah, the easiest thing to do is to start something, but the more difficult part is to kind of take it to the next level.
Sustaining, absolutely.
Very well said. So now, Nimish, this is my next question to you. Entrepreneurs know or they have an understanding of the direction, but most entrepreneurs complain that, oh, I don't have the time. I'm doing so many things and you don't ask me to do anything more now. I'm already doing enough, so I don't have time. So I really don't understand that. If you can guide, how entrepreneurs need to plan their time or what they need to do.
Like, Preeti, I'll ask question first to all the viewers. Uh, is 24 hours enough or no? Do you need more than 24 hours to really work? Because all those people who say, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough time, they need more than 24 hours. I'll tell you, do you want 5,832 hours in a day? Please travel to Venus and you will get all that many hours. And believe me, even after that, probably after one day, they'll say, I still don't have enough time. There are a lot of reasons for this, Preeti, for people not having time. The first and foremost is again, as she spoke of fear of growth, okay, am I good or no? The reason behind time is the fear of delegating work. कि if I'll delegate it to somebody, वो सीख के भाग जाएगा, खुद का धंधा चालू करेगा, मेरा क्या होगा? I mean, why? Delegate work effectively, and when you delegate with supervision, delegate the work that you are good at. So you have enough time. So a lot of people talk about to-do list. To-do list is in such a vogue, and people make that without understanding. Okay, according to me, what you need to make first is not to-do list. Now, if you go to your office and if your table is cluttered, what do you do first? You clean your table and then you pick up what you need for that work. Correct? Now, what we do, first we pick up and then we try to clear the table. It comes to time management, you go 180 degrees opposite. So first make a not to do list. From that, say that this works I'm not doing, this works I'm delegating, this works I'm outsourcing. I'm not good at accounts, so why do I need to sit and write roz ka 2 rupiya? I mean, take an easy example. If I'm earning 24,000 rupees a day, every hour I that spent, which is not my core competence, I'm losing that many 1,000 rupees per every hour. So manage your time. I mean, there are a lot of ways to do that. Preeti will be doing the boot camp where we'll actually handhold the entrepreneurs and teach them. And we'll give them a guarantee that you have more than 2 to 4 hours every day to do what you want to do and what you love to do. It's simply time management, priorities, and delegation. And the too much jumbled of to-do list. You try to do so much in a day, you don't end up doing anything. Ask Azhar is the biggest live example we have here. How much efficient he and Ranjana have become just by this two simple advices that were given to them.
Forever grateful to you, Nimish.
Absolutely. Today, I actually focused for 4 long hours and I finished a huge task. Thanks, Nimish, for that.
And you did not have 2 days before, you did not have even half an hour to sit for your book.
I know. But I was also focused, completely.
That's
so I
credit to you.
maintained that consistency.
Correct. That's
Yes.
credit to you that you've accepted. But that's what I'm saying. If you listen to all those things of experiences and implement, you'll have lot many hours. Thank you,
Absolutely.
Preeti.
I think that is
Completely
the advantage when you have one platform and such amazing professional coaches who come together. I think each of them giving their expertise and enhancing your ability to take your business to the next level. That is really fantastic. So why one of the things I know you do, Nimish, and you keep telling all of us to do is that make your diary a day before, make your plan a day before. Why do you think that is something we should be doing?
Again, live testimonials here. I believe that if you cannot plan your day at even if 12 or 24 hours before, please stop doing business, go do a job. Because then you don't need to think, सुबह office पहुंचेंगे, जो सामने रहेगा, will do, forget it. If you're an entrepreneur and if you cannot plan one day before, now there are a couple of advantages there, Preeti. If you sit one day before, in the end, before you actually wind up, and when you try to make first a not to do list and then a to do list, if you want to fine tune something, you have enough time that time to stretch and really manage that list very efficiently. Okay, so next day when you go for work, whether in your office or wherever you go, all you needed to do is close your eyes for 5 minutes and visualize how your day is going to go. Just 5 minutes. Visualization is a very powerful tool, which we again teach at Prescient Strategist, how to visualize and how to get more empowered by visualization. So you are one step ahead of all other entrepreneurs who do the to-do list in the morning, because then you are so hyper in the morning. And then you get 25 calls, 10 of your employees come and ask you for a check signature or this and that. You are not focused on making your to-do list. You don't know what you want to do in the day. I mean, I'll not name it somebody, but he said कि I had told somebody कि अपने को 12 बजे मिलना है. उसको उतने कितने बजे भेजा? 10 बजे सुबह. Okay, कि 12 बजे मिलना है. फिर वो बोला मैं 4 बजे तक वेट करता रहा. He did not reply. I said, did you send him one day in advance? कि boss, tomorrow can we meet at 12 o'clock? You need to respect somebody else's time also.
Very
Correct.
well said.
If your time is 1,000 rupees per hour, somebody else is at least 100 rupees per hour. For him, that's a value.
Absolutely.
So please make a to-do list or a diary or journal, whatever you write, however you make 1 day in advance, so you have a clarity how your day is going tomorrow. And that would solve the biggest problem of you saying, I don't have time, because you've planned your day properly. Both go hand in hand.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Thank
only
you.
one thing I'd like to add here is I hope none of our employees are listening. And I don't want any of my employees to think that they need to not plan their day. I think whether it is employees or business owners
True,
or
true,
whoever,
true.
I'll tell you, Preeti, that ever since I started after Nimish's workshop, and ever since I started planning the night prior, what happens otherwise if it is not planned the night prior, next day it so happens that the start of the day is not in your control. Half the day is gone, and then you think, "Ki aaj kya kya karna hai?"
correct, very
So
true.
it's literally half the day is wasted because we did not plan a night prior. And then it all just piles on, and the end of the day is not a happy zone. Then again, you don't plan the next day. So it's a
Then your
vicious cycle.
stress levels increase.
Yeah,
Yes, yes.
Absolutely.
You
Then you're
start
out.
feeling guilty that I wasted so much of time.
very true. I think one of the excellent traits that you pointed out for time management, Nimish. I think Ranjana, I want to ask you that these are probably habits or traits that we need to follow every day. Now there are certain things which are very internalized, okay, like you spoke about vision, okay, or mindset. So can you tell me what exactly is required from a mindset perspective, or why do entrepreneurs need to have a growth mindset, or how they can build a growth mindset?
Absolutely. So, Preeti, coming to what Nimish said, you have to make a list. Now, making a list, keeping it inside your copy, leaving it in the bedside table, and getting up in the morning and not even looking at it is not a good idea. So, what I feel is from the list, you need to be a super action taker. You have to start implementing all that you have planned. So, as Nimish rightly said, that once you start planning, you can start taking actions better because you already know in your head what you are looking for and what you have to finish. So, from a growth mindset point of view, they need to be an action taker. They cannot just sit and plan, day for days. They have to be action takers. Second is they need to have that problem solving skill, as a with a that kind of mindset that I have to problem solve all the problems, because I cannot like linger these problems. So you have to they need to keep on asking, why is this a problem, why with many whys, they can actually figure out what is the root cause of the problem and then sort it out from the basics. So as an entrepreneur, they need to have all these skills, and this is like a kind of a growth mindset for them. And second is that they need to be action taker, and third, which is very important, is they need to work on their communication. Communication is the biggest way to influence and impact. If they are not, like, I get many entrepreneurs who have a huge problem with communication. They know what is their product, they know how like they have to handle their team, but they do not know how to retain the team. Like the other day there was an urgent call from a from someone I like from a stranger. Said, "Man, do you do communication skills for handling teams?" I said, "Yes, sure." And he is a big businessman. He said, "Just now I have just got rid of one of my very good employee because I was very angry, and I don't know what I said, but he just lifted up his bag, picked up his bag, and just said, I am leaving. And then I know he will not come back. On top of that, he is going to start his own and take all my clients." So you can understand your communication has so much power. If you are not communicating well to your team, even, you can lose your employees. So that is why I think from the growth mindset point of view, you need to learn all these. These are all techniques. So I give tips, techniques, tools to actually work on these people and work on your clients while doing your sales. And this helps people. So it's very important to have a growth mindset and learn all.
Very well said, Ranjana. I think
On a light, Preeti, on a lighter note, she reminded me of something. So sorry I interrupted you. But
No,
on
no,
a
tell me.
lighter note, there's an age-old saying, a joke but which is so true to what she said is, काने को कभी काना नहीं बोलते, उसको बोलो कि you are looking at the world with the same eye and the one eye. He will feel good rather than
Yes.
telling him कि तू काना है. So there's a ways
Absolutely.
of telling people, the ways of giving feedback to people. How do you
Absolutely.
give? And I agree 100% with Ranjana that rather than giving a negative feedback, give them a feedback saying कि how you possibly could have done this better or how you could improve. I think he will own up to the responsibility, and if he's a reasonably sane guy, a responsible guy, he'll take it to a chin very sportingly and make sure he improves on that. I think communication is
It's
one of
very
the biggest
important.
lacuna even in real estate industry.
To add to that, Preeti, this is again, learned from Ranjana. So when I work with clients, okay, and I have a pricing for when I have to plan personalized diets protocol, okay, it's very normal in our country to ask for discounts, okay, and we absolutely have a no discount policy, okay. And I used to be very normal saying that it's a no discount policy, and that's Ranjana taught me that rather than giving a no discount policy, give them another offer which you know that he will reject. So you did not say no, you just gave another option, and in either way, we win. So that the client did not feel it. A lot of times people don't like to hear no. Again, just to add to that it's part of communication. And thank you, Ranjana. I think that's something which I very well implement.
I'm so happy you started implementing and you're getting results. In fact, what I feel I must tell to our viewers, like as a leader, if you are a leader, if you are a business owner, never directly give any feedback. You use the sandwich method, where first you say something really good, then you say something which is not so good, and again fill it up with something good. So the impact is less, but a person understands that I need to work on this. So to the viewers, you should always work on sandwich method. Feedback. Yes.
On a lighter note, it's called Resham ke kapde mein
थोड़ा सा
मारो तो उसको
नीला कपड़ा
no,
करके
no,
मारो.
don't take it. No. So it is like that, but yeah.
We've discussed a lot about, communication, leadership skills, planning, time management. I think the point that I want to take on now is that all this works when the individual is at a balanced level. Okay, and to have that balance or that state of mind, I think most important is a person's health. So a person needs to make sure that they feel healthy, they are able to balance out. And so people do need to spend time on focusing on their health. And I know that Azhar works with a lot of people on how to lose weight and how to get into shape and things like that. But Azhar, something one of my friends has always asked me, and she doesn't like going on diets or a fitness or a nutrition regime, because अरे यार वो 20 दिन करो तब तक सब सही चलता है, and after that I tend to gain that weight back. It's, I think I would say almost 97% of the people have this problem. Okay, that so what do you advise, how do we go about this?
So what you mentioned is absolutely a fact, that 97% of the population don't just gain it back, but they gain more than what was lost.
Very true.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so absolutely no denial in that. The problem is that what was the approach taken? Majority of the time, again, they just go on the internet. Again, it links back to the first question, that they go on the internet, they see that, okay, fine, this is in trend, let me do this. Okay, without even considering that, every individual is so different. Everyone within is so different. Even when we plan protocols, okay, everything is planned as per the individual. So when you are just taking up something from the internet, या तो अगर किसी friend ने बोला, और very common, उसने ये कर रहा है मैं भी वो करूँगा. It literally happens on social media when I put up something that what I am eating, that then people literally reply, can I also start eating this? I said, you should first ask that why am I eating an X food and why is somebody else supposed to eat another food? So first is that people randomly take any approach. People also end up taking approaches which are far more unhealthier, wherein when they are losing the weight, they are not losing fat. It's another topic of itself to educate that fat loss. and weight loss are two completely different things. What happens is that they feel that on the weighing scale that fat weight is being lost, but what tissue did they lose? Did they lose muscle mass? Did they lose water weight, or did they actually lose the fat? That's again something people don't realize. And every time when they take this approach, when the nutrition is not planned well, they end up losing a lot of muscle mass. The loss of muscle mass makes it all the more difficult for them to again keep off the lost weight, which again results in gaining back the weight. And again, in this entire process, if the person is not coached well, if the person is not made to eat the food what they enjoy, there will be a point where they will not enjoy. The idea is that when we coach people, when we take people on board, we try to make sure that the best diet to your answer, the best diet is the diet that you can eat for the longest of the time. The diet that you can sustain for the longest time is the best diet. That's the answer to your previous question. I think you had asked me, right? What is the best diet? That's the answer. The diet which you can eat and sustain for a longer time is the best diet. Now, the coach and the nutritionist has to try and understand your preferences, your likes. And when the plan is made on that basis, you will never feel bored with that. Like my clients literally eat burgers, pizzas, pastas. Okay,
Wow.
trust me. If there's anybody you would know that that's the kind of food I make them eat. Like my clients, they try out fancy cookies and whatnot. The title of my book is "Eat Your Cake, Lose Your Weight" for a reason. That you should have the liberty to eat the cake, provided your coach can guide you how and when. I think it's about the process and it's about enjoying the process. So that's about it.
Very,
I
very
think
well. Yeah, go
it
ahead.
was very well put, Azhar, that the diet, I mean, I don't want to name again to get into controversy, but there are so many fad diets out in the world. You can't sustain them. I've met couple of so-called dietitians. मैं बोला, boss, I can't live with this 365 days, so I'm not doing it. Azhar, you are bang on that the diet that you can eat 365 days 24/7 your habitat. अभी कल तुम I'm a vegetarian and तू मेरे को बोलेगा for you chicken and fish is very good, you eat it. I'm not going to. I mean, you are right that nutritionist has to understand the common person's food habits, food diet, and then package it with that. I think you are bang on there.
Absolutely.
Kudos
You
to
know,
you.
I remember Azhar had given us a 7 days challenge, you know.
Yeah.
I remember how energetic I used to feel those days because small things, you know, chewing for 40 times, sunlight, some certain things were there. And it was so well, you know, designed that I really had a great time going through all those challenges and I was consistent and I
Glad you
really
enjoyed.
felt so energetic. Yes. It was
I think
nice.
Glad
Azhar.
that we enjoyed, Ranjana.
Yeah. So another aspect about the food and nutrition and health also talks about the sleep. You know, I think because we are in lockdown, we end to sleep late, get up at odd hours. Some of us are working long hours. You know, some have the liberty to sit and watch series till 2 and 3 in the night. But some of us are actually even working for 12 hours. If we are actually going out and working, it would have been easier, I feel. I think lockdown has made it even worse for us. So how
Absolutely.
important is sleep? And I think all other things put together. Yeah.
Sleep, Preeti, I would tell, is one of the most simplest, okay, but one of the most neglected areas of health, okay, and how sleep affects not just weight loss and health is crazy. Like I can just write a book completely on how significant sleep is. Okay, sleep decreases your leptin hormone, which makes you satiety hormone, which tells the brain that okay, fine, और खाना नहीं चाहिए. It increases your hunger hormone. So if you are not sleeping in the night, you tend to eat more. Okay, for all the diabetics or for prevention of diabetes, if your sleep is not well, okay, your muscle glucose uptake also is impaired. If you're not sleeping well, okay, it also makes you eat more the next day. If you're not sleeping well, the kind of food that you opt for. Is there anybody who says, Raat ko agar jaag rahe, what kind of food do you wish to eat? You'll only want to eat more sugary kind of food if you are awake in the night. Anybody who's staying up, mostly high chakna chura kind of food, that's the kind of food, because, and that's research has shown that that's the kind of food people want to eat when they are awake in the night. So And food, what you eat also will matter that how you sleep in the night. So now this was just the quality of the sleep. For somebody who has slept for 5.5 hours compared to 8 hours, there is research which says what I mentioned in the previous few minutes, that you end up losing more muscle mass compared to your fat mass. And muscle mass is like diamond to yourself. Do not lose it, preserve it. As you start aging, you will automatically start losing that. So right from this age, okay, start preserving it, start taking care of that. And as Ranjana and Nimish, they both mentioned, what happens is the people, in business with the, well, I'm facing this with a lot of my clients. You are absolutely bang on. They are all saying that office जाकर काम करते तो हम जल्द अपने घर पे आज. They are saying that on an average 18 hours on a lower side they are working.
Wow.
Which is
Yes.
crazy. So we guide, we literally have programs wherein we train people how they can manage their sleep, because the whole day people are so stressed out, and when stress again, sleep and stress again affects your cortisol levels, which again ends up making your fat storage on your body. So sleep has so many functions. I can't even complete in this. I'm literally saying that a whole book can be written on how sleep impacts our health, not just weight loss. So the burnout that people feel is again because of lack of sleep. You haven't slept well, and if you haven't slept well and enough, next day, irrespective of how much ever you plan and how much ever you wish to complete, you will not be able to focus on your task, on your job, and eventually you will not be able to accomplish what you really mean to accomplish in your life. So very, very important and crucial point pointed out, Preeti.
Yeah, I think what you have just mentioned, just the more and more I listen to all three of you, the more and more I realize that people tend to assume that they have their life in order and everything is going fine. And yes, at a superficial level, it is, everything looks okay. But at some point in time, you need a mentor, you need a guide, you need a coach who can, find out how you can probably, you're looking at 10 people and thinking, why is that one person out of 10 achieving a lot more than the others? Okay. And I think the answer is here in this panel. If you have the right kind of people guiding you on how they tell you how to sleep, how to eat, how to exercise, how to get your mindset right, how to build the right habits, how to get efficient, I think that's about it. But specifically to you, Ranjana, if I have to ask, because you are talking about improving performance, okay, and I think all individuals at some point reach that level where they feel इसके आगे अभी और कुछ achieve करना बहुत मुश्किल है. So how does the role of a coach or someone like you step in, help them in taking it to the next level?
So Preeti, I remember there's a coach, very famous coach called Dan Lok, and he says he helps winners win more. It's a beautiful way of actually explaining that. I love to think that my clients are all winners. They may be stuck at a point and they are not able to come out of that place, that knot, but they are all winners. So they have already achieved a lot, but somewhere they are stuck. So I use, as a performance coach, I use 5-step process. First, I help them to be aware of what is it, like why are they stuck, what are the areas they are stuck, and why are they stuck. Mostly I've seen, they're unable to identify till I keep on probing with my, customized questioning styles. These are all called customized coaching interventions, which I've really learned well, I feel. Because while getting deep into their mindset and skill set, I realized that we can identify the reason first, So the awareness of why it is happening is very important. Second step is getting clarity of after identifying how do we take the next step of action. And once we know how do we take the next step of action, we get a direction. So we get the direction towards the vision. As I said, that if you have a vision, proper vision, compelling vision, you can walk towards that. Next is your, how do you progress with consistency? everything is interconnected. If you have that in mind, that you have to be consistent with every action plan that we have decided, you are bound to get your result. If not today, tomorrow, but you're going to get your result. And finally, after all these, from level A, you reach level B where you wanted to go. So these 5 steps have helped all my clients so far to perform from what they are as a winner to win more. That is the level B. So this is how I bring them. And with that, a performance coach, like I as a performance coach, I train them leadership. I train them communication, which is not only effective communication, but strategic communication. And how can you think out of the box to add value to your clients? If they know all these, I think their performance will definitely go high up.
Very, very well said, Ranjana. I think your 5-step process seems pretty straightforward and very methodical and scientific. And I think anybody can then get into that next level of performance. Nimish, my last final question to you is that, we spoke a lot about vision and having goals and, having a mission and a value statement and all. What is all this? I mean, some people who are small, medium entrepreneurs, they're like, yaar, main 4 logon ke sath kaam kar raha hu. What vision and what mission? What are you talking about? But I personally discussed this with you and I have had the benefits. So I would want you to share with our viewers what you think.
Preeti, again, I'll ask a question to all my viewers where just now Ranjana spoke about vision and clarity and all. My simple question is, why do we stay loyal to a brand? Now, the reason we stay loyal to brands is because of their values. Now, what I mean by values, the best brands, they combine physical, emotional, and logical elements into one exceptional customer or an employee experience, that you can value so much. You value that experience so much. And when your brand successfully creates a connection with either a customer or your employee, many of them stay loyal to you, for life then, because once you experience that feeling, the whole thing, you stay loyal to them, then you don't want to go anywhere else. This not only helps you increase your profitability, but it gives you a solid foundation to expand from. All right. Now, another thing what you can do is by achieving this connection is, people talk, kare yaar ho jayega brand, ek bar pehle brand banate hain, then we'll talk about it. It's not that easy, making that connection with customers and clients. You won't forget customers and clients, making that connection with your employees is not all that an easy task. Now, that company has to succeed on one, stay true to their core values. Now, when you have to stay true to your core values, and if you don't have them defined, how do you stay true to them? The question that you asked, vision, mission, and value statements that each and every company should have. Now, I'll put it up in very succinct and easy words. What is vision? Now, vision statement describes where the company aspires to be upon a certain number of years or a certain number of months. That is your vision statement, where the company needs to go after 10 years, after 15 years, after 25 years. Now, that is trying to have an impact on your business, impact on your life, impact on your employees, and impact on your customers. That's a vision. Now, how do you achieve that vision? That vision is achieved by a mission statement. Why? Because it's an action-oriented statement. Now, what does mission statement does? It declares the purpose of an organization to serve its audience. How are they going to serve their audience? It often includes a general description of what is the organization, how it's going to function, what are its objectives, and that is the mission statement. And believe me, Preeti, a lot of people think कि मैंने एक बार vision mission statement लिख दिया तो पत्थर की लकीर हो गई, अभी उसको सालों साल बदलना नहीं है. No, my dear friends, both vision and mission statements are very dynamic. No, not that once you've written, so it remains there for generations to come. Reason being, once you've made a vision, after 10 years, I want to be a 100 crore company. And if you achieve that, say in 10th year or 8th year, you need to set another vision. What is going to be your vision after that? Now, once your vision has changed, you need to change the mission statement at times. Sometimes also can happen that for a certain vision, you set a mission statement, but something has gone wrong with that mission statement. Now, if you do not continuously monitor that and look at it, probably you'll go totally haywire. So you need to keep going back at both the vision and mission statements to see that you are on your path to what you've decided and your mission is going properly with that. And that's how you build the whole new culture. And what are the values? Values are work ethics, integrity, etc. of the companies. They define the culture of your company as to where your company will be. Again, I don't want to name companies, but we all know that if I give two companies, one which is international conglomerate and one is very ethically known, both giving the same brands, same value, same material, you'll go with the one where you have a higher trust value. He may be in the Forbes at 45th, and the other company may be at Forbes at third or fourth, being the richest company or the biggest conglomerate. But you will buy from whom? Where you have more trust. Now, where that trust has come from? Because you have a vision for your company. And Preeti, another biggest mistake people make, all those entrepreneurs, they'll write down the vision, mission, and value statement, and they'll not share with their employees. मतलब क्या हो रहा है? You wanted to go to Churchgate, but the employees got into a train which is going to Virar. Because he doesn't know what is the vision of the company, how that vision is to be achieved, what are the values of the company. In our company, we've made sure that in every room you have very boldly placed vision, mission, and value statement of the company. So every single employee knows on what road everybody is expected to walk. And that will make your company absolutely next generation.
Very beautifully explained and defined, Nimish. So, viewers, if you are watching this, you can, by now, you would have already experienced a glimpse of the amount of knowledge and experience and learnings you'll have if you are in touch with the right kind of coaches and mentors. And in our TLC series group, we have a fantastic group which is dealing with business owners, and they are going to come up with a workshop, a boot camp, and they are only 3 years. There are another three fantastic coaches and entrepreneurs, who have worked and have a lot of experience with, the small, medium entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, and how they can take their business to the next level. And they're all experts in their whole field. So it's a wholesome package on how you can get 10x growth, starting from your own personal space, your personal finance, to networking, to risk management, to leadership, to understanding competition, to productivity enhancement. So if you're watching the screen right now, if you can see, there is a boot camp which is going to happen for 6 hours for 3 days, and for the price of 399 only. I mean, that's a throwaway price. And what we have shown you right now in this FB Live is just a glimpse of their experience. So we are posting the link in the chat box, in the comment section of this FB Live. Do register for this to take the maximum benefit. They're going to pour their heart and life out, because in TLC we continuously believe in sharing and giving as much knowledge as possible to our coaches and trade people who are under us, and to make sure that they gain value. And I personally will be joining this for sure. So I'm looking forward to this. And once again, Nimesh, Azhar, Ranjana, thank you so much for coming on this Facebook Live today and sharing. Any closing comments from all three of you? Quick 30 seconds from each one of you.
And Preeti, I would like to say is that this boot camp we've specifically kept for 3 days. Why? Because every one, even 1 hour is less. But within 1 hour, we want to actually handhold all the entrepreneurs who will join and make difference in their life then and there, to just make them experience how much we can make effect in their business, in their personal life. So we are actually going to do hand holding. So each coach, each consultant will take up 1 hour. They'll have their templates, they'll have their activities and strategies, and they'll make you do that. Have feel that experience as to what it is meaning to you. Like probably Azhar will put you off to sleep for half an hour within that 1 hour workshop to make you understand how energetic you are feeling after half an hour. But it's going to be experiential boot camp, and 399 I would not comment, but we will definitely give you at least 40,000 worth of material by 6 of us, and that's our promise that you will not go disappointed from that boot camp. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Just quick 30 seconds from my side, Preeti. If you see the two words written behind me, project now. When it comes to taking actions, okay, we humans are very good at procrastination, okay, and that's exactly what we will change in this bootcamp. We will make sure that action starts and now. So that's about it from my quick
That's
closure.
really well said, well coined the word project now as a yes, Ranjana, 30 seconds from you.
Yes, I want to say that please, all of you are winners, but you need to win more and more. So don't get stagnated, have a growth mindset, work on all the skills that are necessary to build yourself up to an international level and grow higher and higher. You need to do that because this is the time.
Fantastic. So thank you once again, viewers, whoever's watching this Facebook Live now or later, do check the comments for the link for registration of this boot camp. I wish all you fantastic, professional, world-class coaches the very best. Make this a huge roaring success. Let us have some great testimonials, and I hope I'll be seeing you all again on a Facebook Live on TLC Serious page soon.
Thank you, Preeti.
Soon.
And you will.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.